Hello everyone, welcome again to LIS2360 Web App Development with me, Muhammad Prabu. In this video, I would like to demonstrate on how to do lesson 5 lab activity about CSS on news article. Okay, so this is a Canvas page for our course. So since we are in lesson 5, go to lesson 5 about basic CSS. Remember, you need to click the link from Canvas in order to Zybooks transfer your grades correctly to Canvas. So click on lesson 5 and it will be redirected to Zybooks and it will redirect to 5.8 lab activity news article. If you remember this article, we did the HTML part for this page on lesson 3. So for this lab activity, we will focus on the CSS part of the article, and these are the instructions what Zybooks wants us to do. There are like 5 instructions, and for instruction 2 to 5, there are sub instruction where you have to follow all the instruction. And there are also downloadable files, and there are index.html and styles.css. Since this lesson is more about CSS, so we will focus more on styles.css. I would like to remind you the importance of having well-managed or well-organized files and folders. So you have to create folders based on lessons. So for example, lesson 1 to 5, and then since this lesson is lesson 5, I put the folder in lesson 5. So the files downloaded from Zybooks is in a zip file. So zip is a compressed file. Inside zip files, usually there are more files. In order to work on a correct file, you need to extract the zip file first. So for macOS, you just double click and you can use an archiver or archive utility. If you are using Windows, you can use Windows Explorer. So here we have 2 files, index.html and styles.css. If you're using AWS Cloud9, you can just upload these both files to the cloud and work on it. But in my case, I'm using, for this tutorial, I'm using Commodore Edit. So in order to open the files with Commodore Edit, you can right click, open with Commodore Edit. And this lab activity, let us focus more on the style.css. So let's open the styles.css with Commodore Edit. So this is our blank files. If you're working with multiple screens or monitors, you can put one window, for example, for your code, and the other monitor for the preview. And if you are using only one Windows, and if you are using only one screen, just like I'm doing right now, you can split the screen. For example, in this, for example, I'm splitting my screens into 4 parts. So these are the preview. The preview is only the preview is just when you open the index.html with web browser. So these are the preview. Whenever we make changes, it will affect the preview. So the workflow is that you download the files from Zybooks. Once you download it, if it's in a zip file, you have to extract it. And if you are using AWS, you upload the extracted files. And if you're using offline, if you're using an offline web development environment such as Commodore Edit or Sublime, you can just start right away by opening the file with your development environment. So I'm opening my CSS with Komodo Edit here. And once you open the coding file or the lab file that we are working, you need to read the instruction carefully. So in this lab activity, there are 5 instructions. So first, both articles images styled with width of 300 px or pixels. So here we edit the styles. Remember, we can select all the text with CSS. So for the first instruction, Zbooks wants us to select all of the images because there are only 2 images. So we can select all images by using img space. And then don't forget about curly braces. If you are using Komodo Edit, it will automatically write the closing tag, and then just click enter. And then since Zybook wants to style the image with the width of 300 pixel, so we can just start writing width and colon, and then 300 px and semicolon. That's it. And then save it. And here we preview. So here we make all of the image into of having 300 pixels. So here 300 pixel, the second image also 300 pixel. And you can always submit multiple times. So in my case, every time I make changes to lab activity file, I can just submit it. So here, choose the file on hard drive, and don't forget about where you store your file. So here I'm putting in my lesson 5 folder, and then upload the styles.css, and then click submit on grading. Let's wait. So here we get the first instruction correct. So we got 2 out of 2 for the first instruction. So in total, we get 2 out of 10. So that's how you do the first instruction. And then continue again with the second instruction. So articles h1 tag. So you need to select all of the h1 tag here. So let's go back again to the style.css h1. So we can select all the HTML tag by typing h1, and don't forget about curly braces. And then for example, first sub instruction, Zybook wants us to have 5 pixel padding all around. So we can just type padding 5px and then save it. And then the second one of the second instruction, it wants us to have font family of Arial, font family Arial. And then the third instruction of the second one is font size. So type again font size. It is 24 pixel. And color, everything you can continue. So for example, if I finished with the second instruction, you can continue with font color and background color. And once you finish, save it. And then you can always resubmit to Zybooks. Submit for grading. So here we got still 2 out of 10. Why? So because we got the first three instruction of the second one correctly, but we haven't done the color, and the test is aborted. So make sure you finish all of the instruction, and you can always resubmit to get a score that you like. For example, I do again the ID. So if you're using ID, for example, ID is using hashtag ID, and then author, name, and date. And then don't forget about curly braces. And one family, for example, Arial. And then just follow all of the instruction and then save it. And then after you are satisfied or you have done the instruction correctly, you can always re-upload to Zybooks. Let's see. It's submitting. So here we got the third correct. But we still got 0 is because the rest of the instruction we haven't finished them yet. So I think so that's all for this video tutorial video about lab 5.8. I wish you good luck for doing the rest of the lab activity, and see you again in the next tutorial video.